Hi, welcome back to my channel, Cosmic Insight Astrology. I am your co-pilot, Christina. Today, I'm here actually to analyze the Scorpio full moon, which is going to take place at 4 degrees, and it's going to happen April 24th for some people and 23rd late night for also some. And it's going to square with Pluto and it's going to sextile with Juno. Okay, so if you're new to my channel, please subscribe, like, and comment below. If you don't know me, I am Christina and I do whole sign astrology, tropical astrology on my YouTube channel. You can check out my website and get familiar with me, which is urbanwitch.org. You can see that actually on the opening page all the time. And what I do lately, I started to blog and I write about all the upcoming aspect, and also I going to analyze every single sign for each month, and I going to put up on my blog, so you can read your May horoscope on my website. All right, guys. So I always built up my podcast with analyzing the archetype of the archetype of the sign, the planets as well, the Sabian symbol, and the degree as well. So the full moon is going to happen in the 4th degree, which is the first decan. So it has a lot of Scorpionian energy. Scorpio rules the 8th house, and Scorpio ruled by Pluto and ruled by Mars. So Mars is actually courage and boldness and the warrior within, but Pluto is transformation. The 8th house actually, Pluto is Phoenix, Pluto is rebirth. The 8th house is the house of taboos, the house of shared resources. So it is also actually the financial axis, but not the money you earn, the money what you invest in stock market, tax refund, anything to do from medical malpractice, from prenup. So insurances, perhaps it's rules insurances as well. So the full moon in Scorpio at 4 degrees squaring Pluto and sextiling Juno intensifies the themes of transformation, the power dynamics, because Pluto also power. And the power dynamic in relationship and in commitment, it was also is a psychological house as well. It rules not only transformation and rebirth, but this is the whole the house of deep psyche, and for example, the shrink you hiring as well. And it's also rules mortgages as well. So it is intensifying the energy over here. The moon is your emotion. The moon is your subconscious. The moon is your tears, your dog, your mother, the way you are mothering others, the way you are nurturing yourself and others. The moon is your clientele, that's the general public as well. The moon representing your family situation, your roots, your real estate, your house as well. So what's going to happen during a full moon? Full moon is always an ending. It is signing off of contract. It could be a blessed ending, but it's going to happen in Scorpio, so it's very intensified. And because its rules, because of the Scorpio ruled by Pluto and it squares with its ruler, it is truly very deeply transformative and emotional. The Sabian symbol for the 4th degree Scorpio is a youth hold a candle, and the candle is lit. And it is like a devotional ritual, what the youth does, what the boy does on this picture. This symbol highlights the themes of seeking your inner truth and enlightenment. Actually, the candle, what is lit over there, we are trying to find the light in darkness. It is a dark time right now, and we are capable to understand right now, how important is even that tiny little light, but we can hold on, because that light can actually give you sights, right? Because you're capable to see in the dark, and it's capable to give you direction, and it's capable to warm you because of the candle itself. It's representing fire. It could represent your passion, your devotion, and your inner fire. So that's your inner fire. That's your enlightenment. That is, we are seeking actually for the. All right, sorry about that. I had a cough attack and I had to pause the recording. So, yes, that is the Sabian symbol over here. So it's a devotional ritual over here, and the light is what going to help us to move forward, because we will know the direction. In the heart of every struggle lies an opportunity to grow. We have to know that. We have to understand that. So actually, this is a transformative energy in nature. And because it squares Pluto, its ruler, its modern ruler, it's highlighting how challenges can be powerful catalyst for personal growth and or personal transformation. Also, I wanted to share a quote, just like usually I do with you guys, and that is Khalil Gibran, who said, "Out of suffering have emerged the strongest souls. The most massive characters are seared with scars." And that is correct, because, whenever we suffer, there is a major growth coming out from it. And even, like that's the process of rebirth, like phoenix, like the bird phoenix, like out from ashes. Before that, you have to burn to reborn from ashes. All right, so this is actually this full moon going to conjunct a fixed star, which name is Sirma. And it's going to aspect Pluto and Juno as well, right? Because it's gonna square with Pluto and it's going to sextile with Juno. So Sirma has as a characteristic of Mercury, and it's going to give a layer of Mercurian archetype here. So anything to do with deep conversations. Right now we are capable to listen to each other's. And Mercury is also someone who you can talk to. Scorpio is actually a therapist. So many of the people will have to find therapists during this Scorpio full moon. Many of us going to actually seek for leaders, seek for people who can help us, and actually who can be the light. So it could be an astrologer on YouTube channel, or like you might going to have a readings, but definitely something with occult could come up as well. So this full moon could represent rise in thoughtful leadership, because of the full moon is someone who is emotional, and it's sextile with Juno, who is very, very wise. Juno is loyalty, and also square with Pluto, so it's pushing for change, and pushing for to have someone in position who is ambitious and who is determined and who is considerate, and this person going to have a long-term implication on the collective. For example, you have to understand this full moon is going to actually most likely take out two people, two leaders, which is going to be one of them Biden, the other one is King Charles, because the full moon going to oppose Charles' moon in the 10th house and Biden moon in the 6th house. And before we had actually an eclipse over there, the Taurus eclipse. So both of them most likely either going to have a health issue, resign, or not going to have cognitive abilities, and mental or physical health to be capable to move forward and become leaders. So there is new leadership rising with this full moon. When we want to understand the archetype of Scorpio, we were talking about that the traditional ruler is Mars. Mars is courage, Mars is war, Mars is the warrior within, and Pluto is the ruler, the modern avatar, and the principles of Pluto is death, rebirth, transformation. Pluto and Scorpio itself dealing with the unseen, it's the underworld, it is ruled by Hades. So there is a lot of darkness within this full moon. There is a lot of hidden emotion, hidden aspect, hidden news, for example, which could be actually released during this full moon. So when we're talking about the first decan, we were talking about that is going to be actually influenced by Scorpio and actually going to magnify the scorpionic influence over here, because the first decan is belonging from the Scorpio. And so there is definitely pivotal changes in the collective during this full moon. In mythology, actually, Pluto, the ruler of underworld, and Roman mythology, it is symbolizing your subconscious. And, that is actually those kind of forces, subconscious forces, which is going to help you to make a change, urge you to make a change. Juno, for example, because it's sextile with Juno, Juno is the goddess of marriage and loyalty, married with Jupiter, as you know, and Jupiter actually was absolutely not loyal and cheated all the time, but Juno kept being loyal to him. So it's representing principles and commitment and fairness in relationship. So many people going to actually go back to therapist and maybe sex therapist, family therapist, and trying to actually mend the relationship during this full moon. The collective implication of this full moon could be like, for example, if we're checking the health and welfare or the psychological initiatives here, there is going to be a greater focus on mental health or a greater focus on our shadow sides. We are capable to look into the mirror and actually get connected with our shadow side. And when you know your shadows, then you are capable to change, you're capable to address those. Anything what is deeply rooted psychologically, any kind of childhood trauma, sexual trauma, could come actually on the 4th, and then you are capable actually to start the healing. And in healthcare, it could bring in some kind of healthcare reforms actually in the system, because of Scorpio is the root causes. Scorpio ruled by Pluto, and Pluto anything to do with genetic illnesses or the root causes of illness. So right now they're not going to actually try to heal people just to relieve the symptoms, but try to actually holistically heal the people, incorporate holistic and integrative approaches and heal the root causes. And it could be very pivotal in healthcare. Finances, Scorpio rules finances, shared resources, it rules the bank system and stock market. It is on the financial axis. So this is actually very intense, this full moon, because we're going to want to have some kind of reform with corruption, because Pluto also power and powerful people, and then we're going to actually find out how many corrupt people are there, and how they took advantage on people who are, for example, naive, and we want to have some kind of reform or financial security, in bank systems, like not to because there is going to be a lot of with Pluto in Aquarius right now, a lot of identity theft, and they can go on your bank account, steal your cryptos and things like that. So there is going to be some kind of reform over here, which is addressing security. In education, we also going to have some kind of reform, and actually this could go toward to the people and children emotional well-being and psychological well-being. For example, the children can study human behavior and recognizing the importance of the ill-minded people and ill characters, and they are going to be able to recognize and actually prevent massive shootings in schools. And if they're going to address psychological issues in schools, then, it could help actually to prevent any kind of tragic outcome. And in technology, the Scorpio actually ruled by Mars and ruled by Pluto. Pluto is right now in Aquarius. So there is going to be a lot of technological advancement, and because of Mars just conjuncted April 10th actually, after the solar eclipse, but it was also Mars ruled, so it's connected with this situation, with this full moon. So there is some kind of pharmaceutical issues going to happen and technological advancement. So, for example, some kind of innovation in technological advancement, anything to do with AIs, anything where, like reading minds, or maybe printing parts of the brain and using that during surgeries. And as I said in my previous videos, it could be also like chip in the brain as well. And Saturn and Mars could have indicated some kind of seize on pharmaceuticals. Right now, we're going to have some kind of limitation in pharmaceuticals as well. And because of the Pluto ruled Scorpio full moon, it's a major transformation, and Pluto in Aquarius affecting the collective, and the first 3 degrees, so the first 3 years, actually, when it's ingressing, it's really going to transform humanity. And there is unfortunately going to be a lot of death related to Uranian energy, for example, maybe a nuclear bomb or issues, or drone, military drone issues. It could be also to anything to do with earthquakes as well. And because Saturn Mars, the other ruler, just conjuncted and started a synodic cycle over there, there could be actually structured terror attacks coming during this full moon. So this is the closure of April right now, guys. And actually we have one more bad aspect, which is Neptune Mars going to conjunct end of the month. I'm gonna come up with another video over there, but this is like a full chaos over here. So, Saturn and Mars, which is also the ruler of this, Mars is ruler of this full moon, it is indicating like structures on fire, or as I said, structured terror attacks. For example, they can actually have people with immigration. For example, everywhere is people are invading countries, right? There is a lot of immigrant coming everywhere. The US already had over 7 million coming in this year, and Saturn rules a darker color. Saturn also darker complexion, and Saturn can rule also Arabic nation. I'm not saying, but it could indicate, like, for example, they're going to claim those terror attacks belonged from Hamas or some kind of terror organization which has some kind of Arabic roots. But definitely it could come with immigration as well. So this Plutonian full moon could be a little bit of devastation over here, and Pluto rules water, right? Not Pluto, but Scorpio. So because of we had the old avatar Mars and Saturn conjuncted in Pisces, It could come something from water, some kind of pirate ships. It could be sinking, like big cruise ships, or like whatever is transferring medicines or meals. So it could actually affect the food industry as well, and pharmaceuticals as well during this full moon. It's all connected. And it is actually beautifully folding out in this story. And it is a dark story, unfortunately, but it is unfolding with the previous conjunction and with the upcoming Neptune Mars conjunction as well. So, during this full moon, as I said, there is some kind of opportunity to rebalance power, and especially because it's going to sextile Juno. So there is a commitment to address actually imbalances and deepen connection between people and between partnership or alliances. So there are going to be new alliances, actually new dynamic, new power dynamic between countries and in leadership. And as I said, it's definitely gonna affect Biden and King Charles as well. So, and because of Putin has Pluto ascendant, Netanyahu has Mars and Pluto, Trump has Mars and Pluto conjuncting in the chart. So they are going to be affected because that is a Plutonian Martian full moon. In environment, we have to focus on water conservation during this full moon, and actually some kind of issues gonna come up with water, and actually it could be poisoned water, some kind of pollution, because of Scorpio ruled by Pluto. Pluto is poison, so there could be some kind of issue with clean water, unfortunately some kind of natural disaster. And because of Scorpio is ruled by water, right, and Pluto is devastating, it could be some kind of flooding or flood-related issue coming, but most likely it's going to be some kind of flash flood, or it could be mudslide. Why do I say that? Because Saturn Mars in Pisces also could indicate mudslide. So that's definitely possible over here. All right. What else I going to talk about? Well, yes, Pluto we talked about, that is definitely deep-seated control issues, and I truly believe some kind of major transformation coming up with Israel and Netanyahu there. And Israel has, for example, Libra rising and Scorpio in the second house, Taurus in the eighth house. So this full moon actually going to affect their sun, because they have a sun, but just by the energy. So because of Pluto is death, it could indicate some increase in death in the area of Israel. Actually, they have, I guess, a 13 degrees sun. So it's not going to oppose exactly, but by energy, it's very influential anyway. All right. What else can we talk about here? Let me think. So in general, for everyone, definitely there is like the power dynamic changing. So the square to Pluto may expose abuses of power, or it could bring up a lot of people. For example, the Epstein file could come out all the way, or we're going to find more people like P. Diddy and more authoritarian figures, because Saturn Mars also conjuncted in Pisces, which is famous people, glamorous people, musicians involved, in some kind of sex trafficking and issues with that. So also in relationship, because of its sextile to Juno, we might going to actually have some kind of new law that is affecting marriages and partnership and equality in marriages as well. And, because of Pluto also transformation of the like the financial sector over here, it could actually have some kind of issue with banking. Maybe the people going to get scared because of the war is intensifying around the world. And, we do have a lot of similar degrees and similar aspects, just like when we had in 1941 when the new dictator rised, which was Hitler. And right now we have potential dictators a lot, unfortunately. Mm-hmm. And then it could actually bring in some kind of issue with control and manipulation. And, like integrity, there it's not going to be integrity. And Pluto could be also like the people going to be scared, and they want to have the money out from the bank, and the money not going to be able to give, the bank not going to be able to give the money to the people. So yeah, this could be an issue over there. And, because of Pluto is Hades and bank, it could be some kind of attack of the, what is that? Like a lot of stealing identity, for example. And because transit Pluto is in Aquarius, it could be something with cyber attacks, a lot of cyber attack happening, as I said. All right, guys, I think that's that. And, let's see the houses. So, for example, Aries. Scorpio is ruling your 8th house. It's gonna happen in your 8th house, which rules your shared resources, tax, death, prenup, anything to do with abortion, surgeries, private detective, your psychology, and your psychologist. So there is a significant shift in shared resources and in intimacy. It's time for emotion and financial detox for you. And actually, it could be like during the full moon, you can start a parasite cleansing, because it could be very, very healing for you. There is a lot of personal growth going on, because you can let go of, those kind of people around you who you cannot possibly grow from. So this is, and also joint finances, like maybe, like your marriage came to divorce, and right now you're going to have paid out, or you're going to have your inheritance, and you can stop fighting for legal matters for your inheritance. Definitely psychological transformation, definitely deeply going within and understanding your shadows, your obsession. Even letting go of a sexual partner. It could also indicate for some of you to lose a pregnancy, unfortunately, as well. All right, Taurus rising, sun and moon, 7th house. It could be something to do with your relationship. So you deepening your partnership, but also deepening through facing challenges, because this is an ending, right? It's signing of contract, but because of its sextile with Juno, that could be some kind of transformative, honest communication, or hiring a sex therapist, or a mediator, and then at least you are capable to mend your relationship. There could be some kind of legal matters, agreements, commitments, which is going to actually come to the end and come to resolution. And, it's coming with resolution, with fairness and balance, because Juno is involved. But it is some very urgent matters over here. Anything to do with prenups, with inheritance. Geminis, you're going to have that in your 6th house. 6th house, anything to do with your work health, with your rental property, and with your pets. So you will need to focus on transforming your daily routine and your work habits to become healthier. You can have a second opinion. You can actually leave some kind of self-sabotaging behavior behind. And something what you ignored, and it could be some kind of health matters. Right now, it's going to demand your attention. And if you are working in an industry which is service for others, there going to be some kind of opportunity. It could bring in an ending as well, ending of a work, but also healing, because it's coming to like a fruition. It's like full. So that is a way right now actually to revisit some kind of past issues for healing. And careful with your pets, with your dogs, because of there could be something happening with your dog. And if you have rental property, you might going to actually have your tenant leaving or selling your rental property. Cancers, you're going to have that in your fifth house. Fifth house, anything to do with creativity, children, romance, and investment. That is joy and pleasure-based house, emotional insight into your romantic life and creative expression for sure. It is time for passion and reconnecting with joy, but with potential for power struggles. So, there could be something with like, all right, I want to actually start a creative business, but my partner, my intimate partner actually wants to spend time with me, and I don't have time for him or her. So that is the power struggle over here. Careful with investment. Don't put all your eggs in one basket, because it could turn out negative. And with your children, you might going to get an empty nest here because of full moon. They're gonna go to university, and you are struggling with that a little bit emotionally. Yeah, you definitely need to understand and balance out whatever your children requiring. And because of Juno there, that is loyalty. And, you definitely, you're going to be capable to understand and balance out your children's life as well. Leos, it's going to happen in your fourth house. Fourth house, anything to do with your real estate, home, family, and your roots and history. So there is an intense focus on your history, or maybe on your roots. You want to find your legacy, or your biological parents, or maybe actually let go of a family member because of maybe they are, like you cannot choose your family. That's what we say. So they betraying you, and you have to let them go, even if it's a mother, father figure. And cut cords, issues around control and power with any family member, and you will need to seek for transformation. So it could be like, all right, a relationship has to reborn, but first we have to demolish. Maybe we're not gonna talk, and then when we reconnect, we're going to rebuild that, but in a totally new ground. There is definitely some kind of very deep emotional foundation of your personal life, and your living situation is changing as well. You might going to sell a property here. Virgos, it's going to happen in your third house. Third house, anything to do with communication, neighborhood, community, skill-based studies, and your younger siblings, short-distance traveling. So there are going to be some kind of challenges, but also opportunities in for example, in studying and getting a license as well. Maybe first you didn't have the money, but later on somebody going to give it to you, and you're capable to do that licensing. There could be some kind of misunderstanding, or some kind of secretive people around you, and you're going to be uncomfortable because of they are gossiping, or talking very quietly, secretively, and like it could be really challenging for you. But also because Pluto is helping you to transform your life through studying. So it could, some kind of licensing could come to the end, come to fruition, and you're ready to actually make money with that license in your hand, with that skill-based study. You might going to actually finish a relationship with a friend or a sibling, or maybe you're gonna cut out a neighbor because of they are haters, like they are, because it's close to Pluto. It could be like they are nasty and mean and manipulative, and you don't want to be, like having issues with manipulative people. And your sibling could be actually also manipulative and could put some kind of impact on you negatively. Libra rising sun and moon, it's going to happen in your second house. Second house, anything to do with your resources, the earned money, your values over here, the food, what you are eating. So, there could be something what you, definitely the way you are relate to your finances and your possession, that's going to change. And you have to examine how you really truly relate to your money, the way you are earning your money. There is going to be a major transformation in your self-worth. So your self-worth going to influence, or it was influenced by material matters, and right now you're going to reevaluate this, and you will say, you know what, just because financially I'm not a millionaire over here, I still have other values and gifts, and I should be valued by that and not by finances and financial possessions. So also because of it's a Plutonian square, and the second house is what you eat. So be careful with spoiled food, or poisonous food, something to do with poison here, or maybe your water has a lot of chemical in it. So make sure you are drinking filtered water. Scorpio rising sun and moon is going to happen in your first house. First house is anything to do with your identity, with yourself. A powerful time of personal transformation. Who you see yourself and how you assert your will in the world may change. Your appearance going to change. Actually, you might going to be more like an emo kind of person who wears a lot of black, or a crow-like person. You're gonna get maybe attracted to black clothes, but or you're going to dye your hair black, but definitely you're going to reconsider the way you are present yourself to the world, and it's going to align more in your inner world that is really, really deeply your true self. And you're not going to be ashamed by that, or you're not going to struggle with your true self anymore. Because actually it's sextiling with Juno. So there is somebody over there who is by your side and helping you with your inner and outer transformation. Sagittarius rising sun and moon, it's happening in our 12th house. That is our subconscious, that is our dreams, that is the house of underprivileged, the house of hospitals, hospice, jails, and it is also retreats and holistic healing and music and anything to do with script writing and art. So there is some kind of hidden fears that we need to let go, and we're capable to let it go. Also self-sabotaging behavior, maybe addiction as well. There is some kind of secrets that could actually come to light, some kind of secret enemies, and finally you're going to be, oh my God, that person sabotaged me, that's why I didn't get anywhere in life, or not further. So, and also it is time for you to release what no longer serves you, and you are capable to heal yourself. Definitely there is a spiritual growth in that, because this is the full moon. You can have a lot of vivid dreams, and meditation could be amazing during this full moon. You are finding some kind of guidance and some kind of spiritual path. Capricorn rising sun and moon, it's going to happen in your 11th house. 11th house, anything to do with your long-term wishes, hopes, and friendship, that is your social network. So there is a reevaluation of your social circles and aspirations as well. You're letting go of something what doesn't serve you anymore. Your dream is changing, right? So it is actually coming out, like, for example, it was in a cocoon position and it's gonna become a butterfly right now, your dream. Your friendship are changing. Maybe you're going to actually let go of some friends who are not aligning with your true self anymore. 11th house is community and community involvement. So there is going to be some kind of shift in your community as well, and in your group activities. Aquarius rising sun and moon, it's going to happen in your 10th house. 10th house, anything to do with your honor, with your career, reputation, public image, your professional life going under microscope with possible power struggle or transformative changes in your career path. So you're going to give up something actually, or maybe you're just going to be ready to get retired, or you're going to get a better position right now and ready to leave behind the one who you had before, what you had before. The public image over here, you know, it's going to actually change the people perceive you. And it's going to actually align with your professional image and with your true values. So this is a major transformation. You know, it could be something like you are getting on red carpet, a Nobel Prize, some kind of TED Talk, you know, something is coming to an end. You are finishing your doctorate, perhaps. Or if you are a politician, you just might want to get out from the race and done with it. All right, Pisces rising sun and moon, it's going to happen for us in our 9th house. You know, 9th house, anything to do or spiritual belief. It is higher education, expansion, long distance traveling, older siblings. That is podcast, publishing, YouTubing. All right, what's happening over here for us? So the philosophy or belief system going to get challenged. So for example, you had some kind of religion when you grew up, and right now somehow you get disconnected with it because of it doesn't serve, or you know, your worldview is changing because you are growing through some kind of pain. You know, that is a pivotal change over here by expanding your worldview, definitely. You know, travel education could actually change also and bring in some kind of challenges with Pluto square. You are urged to study, and also you are urged to maybe travel. Maybe you have to travel because somebody going to be in trouble who lives in a foreign country, right? Pluto square, and going to need your help, or somebody is going through transformation and a very deep psychological transformation who is abroad. It could be also like you will need to actually get your visas, and finally you are finishing to publish your book, or finally, and it's gonna get published, or you know, it could be like ending a career for you maybe on YouTube, or you know, it could be actually what it can do. Yeah, and the religion, or you know, even and then issue with immigration. For example, this is time for you to right now to get your citizenship, and finally you ended some kind of issue with immigration. Yeah. All right, guys. So that's what I wanted to say about the full moon, and it's going to be very intense. But you know, April itself, it's very intense. And I still have another video with Neptune, Mars, and it's also not the best. But you know, we all keep mind over matter. I tell to everyone all the time. So try to actually create some art, to meditate, and you know, get through this difficult period, and try to cope with it. Thank you so much for listening, liking, sharing, and commenting below, subscribing to my channel, and please share it so more people can benefit from my reading and get actually prepared for the change, because I'm giving you a snow gear in a snowstorm, so you're not going to freeze to death over here. Okay. All right, guys. Thank you so much for being here with me. Bye for now.